And that being said, we like let's just get straight into 450 outdoors. Chase Sexton is your defending outdoor champion from last year. Like, and I has he had to focus on Supercross right down to as recently as this last Saturday? Absolutely. And like Seth Hamaker, I think that hurts his prep rolling into outdoors. I assume that KTM, like they've done this before. It's not their first rodeo when it comes to getting someone prepped for outdoors. But with the amount of time and the emphasis on Supercross, I think that it definitely puts Chase behind the eight ball, especially when it comes to competing against guys like Eli Tomac, who if Eli's been back on the bike, it's outdoors and outdoors only. Same thing with Jet Lawrence. If he's been getting ready to go, it's outdoors only. Same thing with Jorge Prado, who's been back on the bike for 4 weeks now, and has been able to focus specifically on going fast outdoors. Um, like guys like guys like Justin Cooper, guys like Malcolm Stewart, AP, Barsha, Jason Anderson, Jorge Prado. I believe Hunter Lawrence will be back for the first round of outdoors. Regardless, uh, that is a ton of talent being re-injected into the series. And what that means is that someone is going to leave Paula, otherwise known as Fox Raceway, at the first round and be pissed that they just got ninth. Um, Jet Lawrence is coming back with plenty of time on the bike. I think he has more time on the bike than people realize. I think it's been very sort of hush hush about how much time he's been able to log. Whether that's them like whether that means he hasn't had much time, they're sort of keeping that on under wraps, or he's been able to get back on the bike sooner than expected. I definitely see them sort of kind of waiting in the weeds a little bit and just letting the chips fall where they may on the round one. And I would not be surprised. Like Jet has been extremely really good at Paula, Fox Raceway. I think that was his very first outdoor win in outdoors period back when he was number 83. And yeah, he's been pretty much lights out there ever since. I would expect him to be on the podium, if not at the top step of it, when the series gets going in about a week's time. I can't believe it. It just happens so quickly, this series. It's nonstop. Eli Tomac, I think he's also looking to make a statement, especially since the fact he doesn't look to be returning to Star Racing Yamaha. And I think that's a big surprise to a lot of people, but um, they can only have so many guys over there. And I don't think the contract conversations has gone as well as they expected them to. There's been talk about Eli Tomac making his way over to Red Bull KTM. I could sort of have him see him as a like they're gonna have, if that's the case, they're gonna have three bikes over there with Aaron Plessinger, Vial, and Eli Tomac. I don't know that maybe 4 months ago that KTM was expecting to have Vial on that team as well, but they're gonna have to have him move up. I believe he still has another year on his deal, and he's gonna have to race 450 Supercross, like I said, unless they change something about that. So, yeah, buckle up for that. That's gonna be interesting. Um, Eli Tomac, I think he's going to have a chip on his shoulder. I think he's going to be poised to be at his very best. Like seems like a kind of guy that if things didn't go well as far as the negotiation table with Star Racing Yamaha, I could see him not letting that sort of bother him as far as like him not being able to be successful with this season. I completely expect him to say, you know what, like hey, like I'm going to show you what you guys are missing out on. Because I still have the speed, I can still contend, and if we get the best version of Eli Tomac that he can offer right now, that's a guy who can contend for this championship. I can see him getting wins, and I could see him being a thorn in the side of Chase Sexton, Jet Lawrence, and anybody else who wants to vie for this title. I haven't even mentioned him yet through this entire podcast, aside from the fact that he would look good in a suit. Ken Roxon, I could see him racing like three outdoors, four outdoors. I don't see him doing any more than that. He likes to show up at something like Unadilla. I don't expect him to see him on a 250F, although I think that was dope, especially seeing 94 with black plates on it. That's always fun to see. Um, But yeah, 450 outdoors, catch the fever. It's going to be wild. I think Prado, I think by the end of the season, gets himself a couple of wins. He is an underrated individual when it comes to like his just skills on a dirt bike, period. I think Americans sleep on him more than they should. He's a two-time MX1 uh, world champion for a reason. And I don't think learning tracks is going to be his a problem for him. He goes to places like Argentina, where he probably doesn't have a lot of experience on that track whatsoever. Just goes out there and wins. Same thing with like they have all kinds of tracks that like these guys don't have a lot of time on, and they learn them quick and they go fast. Question: what is the best national to attend as a fan? Um, it's Millville and it's not particularly close in my opinion. Obviously that's also the one closest to me, so I have the most experience going to that event. But I've been to a number of the other events on the series. Paula is it's a good track, but as far as aesthetically pleasing and like it's gonna be hot as balls, there's nowhere to hide. Um, the track is sort of like a kind of gravelly and it's just it's in a big flat piece of ground. I don't love Paula. I don't love Hangtown. Redbud is obviously a really good one. It's 4th of July weekend. It's pretty cool to hang out and be able to like just take that whole thing in. But as far as like amenities and like you're gonna pretend like it's 1994 because you're gonna get no cell service while you're there. But as far as the like places that you can like the viewing at Millville is about as good as it can get. You have Mount Martin. You can stand there and literally watch the entire track aside from the sand whoops. I encourage anyone who goes to Millville, watch at least one race, at least starting from the sand whoops, watching on the first lap where everyone is filing through there and just like hammering through the sand whoops is one of the coolest things. The catapult's still there. The finish line in and around that area, like sort of like when you're in the middle of the valley, that is super, super cool to see. You can kind of just, it's almost like you're surrounded by motocross. It always gets hot. Sometimes they do get some weather. Like in the past, we've gotten some thunderstorms roll through there. That is still part of the sort of the reality of like that particular event is that that time of year they get a lot of humidity that builds up, turns into some thunderstorms. But we've also had some like epic races there, even if they're mudders. Of course, 2006 being the year where Ricky Carmichael wins by lapping the entire field. I think it was Brock Hepler who won in the 250s that day. He was always good in the mud. He's a Pennsylvania guy, so those guys are always good in the mud. All right, a brand new segment we got. What's charging? What's fading? Charging is motocross. Motocross is about to get started. The great outdoors, if you will. And I think that motocross is so much more relatable to the fans of the sport than supercross is. Like, there's like hitting stadium whoops. Most fans don't know what that feels like. Hitting a supercross triple, it's spectacular, but a lot of fans don't know what that feels like. But rowing through a set of sand whoops or railing an outside berm in a sweeping corner. I think that the core fan of the sport, the fan that actually spends money in the industry, they're motocross people, and that's what they can relate to. That's something that they can see, even though the speeds that you see at a national aren't anywhere close to what you see, or like they're so much faster than what you see at a local race on a weekend. It's still like it's something that people can relate to, or say maybe you rode amateur day at Millville, and then like a couple of days later you see Jet Lawrence hitting that exact same section. Like it took you like 3 jumps to get through there, and he just clears the whole damn thing. Like it hurts your feelings, but it's still at the same time, it's like maybe the raddest thing in the world. So I always like to see that. Um, but and then what's fading is the era of iconic gear, like motocross gear. There was a time when certain riders and certain years were just synonymous with certain sets of gear. Particular, like let's say like Travis Pastrana, 2001, he had either the red, tr the No Fear gear, or he had that gray stuff that he basically like. It was almost every round, including Motocross Nations, he wore the same stuff, and like maybe that's just a sign of the time. Like the way they make gear nowadays is just different. The way they advertise gear and market it is just different. They almost have that like that sneaker like gotta have it. It's always changing. If it's this one's not your flavor, hey, maybe next weekend's your flavor, and they'll just keep showcasing all the different things that come out in the catalog that pulls you to the website. A lot of limited edition stuff that like it's just they didn't never used to have stuff like that, and if they did it was for certain riders and it just wasn't for sale. Like there was that the stuff that James Stewart had for I believe it was Vegas 2005. Like it was like he had the yellow zebra gear. I believe that was 180 stuff, and it came in sort of a gold that like it wasn't available. You can get the yellow and you can get the pink, but it wasn't available in gold. And I think that was some of the things that are sort of special and different. But there's stuff that like Cooper Webb has worn this year. I don't think he's worn the same gear more than a couple of times um, throughout this season. So if I think of like what did Cooper Webb look like in the 2025 Supercross season, like I can't really pinpoint that, and it kind of bums me out that things have sort of become so much more disposable that way. So it's just like I think the what's fading right now is just sort of that like that iconic gear from particular years. Like I think of 2008, Chad Reed wore a ton of black. Like he had like some really cool looking black kits. He also had a black and yellow kit that was really sick. And then in 2004, he had that like blue paisley gear that really stood out. He wore it outdoors as well as indoors, and that was really cool. Like the blue paisley stuff was like pretty much iconic. And yeah, we're not going to see stuff like that anymore because these guys wear something new all the time. All right, guys. Well, that's the podcast, BigMx Radio. Appreciate you guys. If you can support all of the sponsors, Fast Company, go ahead and get yourself a Fast Company spoke torque wrench. Pretty much every professional mechanic in the pits has one of these things. They absolutely love them. I love mine. I use it. It's part of my like bike prep every time I go to the track. I make sure that the wheels are tuned properly with the spoke torque wrench. I make sure that my chain is the proper tension. I set my sag with my Slacker digital sag scale. Easiest thing in the world to do. Obviously, top her up with gas. Make sure that everything is squared away and tightened up to torque to spec or cross threaded either way. So check those guys out. They also have the Fast Company Flex handlebars, and that's something that probably gets a little slept on. Not a lot of guys use it in the pros. A ton of guys use it in GNCC. In fact, there's some riders that they promote another brand, but they definitely run the Flex bars. The Bruff brothers from Mesquite, they wear them, use them all the time, and those guys are a whole hell of a lot faster than me. So if they can make them work, you can make them work. The take gets a little bit less feedback from your hands, and like you're also not going to bend them because they do have sort of like a hinge there. They do look a little bit heavier than most bars, but let's be honest, weight savings is probably not the biggest importance to your weekend warrior. It's more about durability and just like comfortability. And if that's what you're looking for, kind of look no further than the flex bars. So go check those guys out. Like I said right off the hop, Race Tech, those guys are awesome. They provide a discount for Big MX Radio listeners. Same thing with Luxon MX. They're fantastic to work with. You can save 10% with Big MX 2025 at checkout. And Moose Racing. They've got some unbelievable gear. They've also got tons of hard parts for your motorcycle that you can put to use, and or your UTV, ATV. The side by sides, they've got a ton of cool stuff for the off road side of things. So check out their website. Last but not least, Recluse, Pro X, and race winning brands. Recluse, the clutches, their brand new Apex clutch. That's what they're using in the Star Racing Yamaha bikes. That's what's allowing Hayden Deegan to get all kinds of amazing starts and just like and rule the sport as far as the 250 class is considered right now. When he dumps the clutch, it's a Recluse clutch, and yeah, you guys should go check those guys out. It's also available Race Winning Brands Canada, so yeah, go check that out. And yeah, so thanks you guys for listening to the podcast. Thanks for everyone who is watching this on YouTube. I'm going to cut this up into a couple of videos for you guys to drool over, and hopefully I brought some sort of value. If you did, please leave a like or comment. Find us on YouTube, BigMx Radio. Also find us on all forms of social media at BigMx Radio. And yeah, go get yourself some throttle therapy. And Sean, if you're listening to this on the treadmill, or if you're on the ellipticals, getting your reps in at the gym, keep on doing it, buddy. Appreciate you. And yeah, thanks to everyone for taking the time to listen.